Same-sex couple from the UK, let's call them Alex and Sam, wanted to have a child, so they considered surrogacy. They went online to a Tinder-like surrogacy page, if you like, run by a woman, let's call her Crystal, where they met a young potential surrogate, and we are going to call her Kate. After a brief meeting, an agreement was signed, and Alex and Sam flew Kate to Cyprus for a private insemination procedure, during which 2 embryos were implanted. It turned out that Kate had never wanted to carry 2 embryos. She was both scared and anxious about it. She thought it would be more difficult and a higher risk pregnancy. But she believed the couple when they told her not to worry, because it is very likely that only 1 embryo would develop into a full-term pregnancy. Kate was paid £500 a month for her expenses, with £9,000 being the total amount agreed for the whole process, which was considered to be the going rate. Kate found the IVF procedure in Cyprus uncomfortable and intrusive, which made her feel used, and that led to the deterioration in the relationship between her and the 2 men. And unfortunately, Kate suffered a miscarriage because the IVF procedure didn't succeed. Or did it? Well, the truth was that one of the embryos actually had survived, and Kate went on to carry it full term in secret. Alex and Sam only found out about it just before the baby was born, and at that point, they decided to launch legal proceedings in an attempt to get custody over baby. But how did they find out, you may be wondering? Now, do you remember Crystal, the surrogate page manager? She was the one who suggested to Kate to keep the pregnancy secret, but guess what? She was also the one to tell Alex and Sam that baby was about to be born. Well done, Crystal. So what is the legal position once the baby is born? Who should have the right to keep the baby? Is it Kate, or do you think it should be Alex and Sam? The legal position is that while baby is not Kate's biological child, she is to be treated in law as the baby's mother, because surrogate mothers can only assign the baby over to the intended parents 6 weeks after birth and not before. This case is further complicated by a number of factors. 1, to be able to sign the parental order to hand over baby to Alex and Sam, Kate must have a full understanding of the process. But in this case, Kate had learning difficulties. She was a vulnerable young woman in her very early 20s and would have limitations in her ability to understand the process. 2, unfortunately, the baby suffers from an illness affecting his brain and is physically more vulnerable than most babies of his age. A third reason why this case is more complicated was the couple's actions towards Kate have been questionable when arranging the surrogacy. It turns out that the paperwork was found by Alex and Sam online. The whole legal system behind the contract was based on overseas commercial surrogacy agreements from the US, laws which are very different to the laws in the UK. 4th reason is the surrogacy agreement that they got online was signed by Kate at a fast food outlet after a brief face-to-face meeting with Alex and Sam lasting less than 2 hours. She was accompanied by her young son and a young relative, and she was no more than 18 years old at the time. So it was because of all these reasons that the court decided that in this case, baby's best interests were to remain with Kate, and Alex and Sam lost their legal battle. What are your thoughts on the case? And have you heard about